Alright. Dazed and dazed. And Ivy... Well, she will...
See, there's no melee penalty for the giant rock grub 1. Using the rule that I quoted earlier, it's 10 feet away from Miku.
She will plonk at it. Miss. She's not rolling very well today. Zyn.
Then we'll 5 step forward and full attack.
She got so hyper on the damn Himmelsvard that she's like a kid who got worn out. Like,
Let's shoot at grub 1 because why not?
Why not indeed?
Because of reasons.
20 and 11 for 11 damage.
20 and 11 for 11 damage.
All the sheep cows like doing is like shooting between the fighter's legs.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's good at that these days.
Yes. Suddenly.
It's like something big is gonna just trouble out through the
Really?
house.
This is my 4th round of luck. Move action to reload crossbow. Standard action to shoot at the unnumbered grub. That is a hit for 5.
5 damage it is.
Continuing to 5-foot step backwards. In turn.
Trislin?
We'll move up next to Alauneari and try to hit giant rock grub with no number.
Numberless grub.
With a touched.
Just not conform.
Yay!
Roll a d3.
He's touched.
If my... Let's see.
Question is if they care about acid.
Well, let's see.
Alright.
2!
2 acid.
It's time to collect empirical evidence.
Science!
Well, there's a higher chance for me to hit with acid than the swing.
Research indicates the Zvirfneblin use these as favored pets.
Huh.
Is he hurt? I
Yes,
take that as
he-
a yes.
Yes,
Awesome.
he definitely hurts.
He does not like acid.
No, he hisses. Rain, make a reflex save, please. As the electricity sort of bubbling around the sort of pool in here
Fair enough.
lashes out. Yes, that is fair enough. You will take half damage.
10d6.
You don't have evasion?
Kablam!
Hey, a DDS, a skull crackling with lightning electricity, wheels in, hovering from around the bend.
I am back.
Lightning bolt.
Shane lightning.
No. Implosion.
I didn't make my turn.
This isn't here.
sorry.
This isn't here.
Ah, you wanted
magic.
you
What the hell?
What, you wanted to turn? That's
Silly,
Preposterous.
silly. TDS.
Anyway,
Yes.
swing!
Swing.
And then step away, because there seems to be lightning shooting at me.
Hey, better.
Exactly.
Let's see. That is 9 damage.
Pitcher's got a big butt.
Oh. I don't know.
If you want them to get out of the lightning area, then probably letting them have a turn would be a good idea. But she's not feeling generous. She'll turn. She's down to 4 channel attempts left for the day.
All right.
She's used half.
What insect?
1, and this is unnumbered 1. That's a good roll.
Not bad damage.
Max damage. Will saves. Go. Nope.
No. Do they even stand a chance?
They stand a
fine.
chance, but I mean, they're not really.
It's a pitcher's chance.
Yeah, that actually burned them quite a lot.
Does Alauneari give her move action to the children?
You know, she will do that.
You can donate it to a Garrus.
It's not really.
Give it to a Garrus.
Miku will poke and fumble.
Fumble.
Dazed and Ivy. Will she make it?
I believe in you, girl.
Aha!
Gotta fight the man.
Yeah,
Fight the system.
it's an important fight.
Zyn.
Then we'll do the same thing over and over again. Which one has more health? Grab one. Then again, I might just shoot at grab no number, and if the first shot kills him, the second shot will go to grab one. And the first shot does 5 damage, and the other one misses.
It is enough to kill unnumbered grub.
Hooray.
Brilliant.
Kill steal. See, this is my 5th round of luck. Move action reload, standard action to fire, that is a miss. 5-foot step back, in turn.
Trislan?
Miss. That's it.
You could have summoned
Rae'nkalar.
eagles again. You could have been a contender.
An eagle? Seriously, there's just one left.
Kya! The eagles return!
I mean,
Besides, Jonas is gonna be angry if I summon.
No,
Return of the
if you have them ready and set up with all the required macros, it's perfectly fine. It takes
Well, I don't.
it takes a while right now. Right?
Dark, it's your cue.
Yes.
I realised I was muted. I feel silly.
This happens at least once every session.
Oh yes, it does.
That feeling when DDS is muted and doesn't know it.
Watch! I rolled a 3.
The grub giggles. He's gleeful over this poor show of swordsmanship. Alauneari.
Sure. Move here and change to her long spear and try to stab the thing.
Kill still.
Aside, brother.
Really, it's very unglamorous work.
That's
Probably a
she's-
miss.
she's clearly not cut out for this uncouth behavior.
No. She realizes that doing nothing is not appropriate for the situation, and
Woo, buddies.
I will help you, Alauneari. And Mika will stab.
You know, after he fumbled last time and everything.
He's gathered his wits.
Well,
That is definitely not a fumble.
he clearly wants to show his worth.
He does. As he viciously hacks down with his glaive and slays the grub in the pond. All the while, the electricity is still crackling around it. Combat is over.
Yay!
Yay.
painlessly. What's the consumed resources? Well, anyway, we'll keep away from the things. Look around though. Maybe something heard all the sound of whatever these things are, and you never know.
Then we'll say, let us move quickly and not agitate the wildlife here further.
Let's take a look at range things. Yes. With the fight, settled here and everyone able to look around again, you do notice that there seems to be a very large structure looming in this direction, basically over here. Looks definitely like a fortification of some sort.
Keep. Well, there isn't about to move here with these things living about.
Castle Volsenstadt. Home to the gnome vampires.
Ah, you have arrived.
That was sufficiently cheesy.
Thank you.
Yes, then we'll point at the large building and ask do we want to investigate or head straight for the observatory?
Oh,
Seeing the obvious interest in the rest of the group.
it seems that there is no obvious way south. We might as well investigate.
Sure.
Besides, if we can
Yes.
get a bit further inland, perhaps the place will be less muddy.
We say as we walk onto the next muddy road.
So, looking at the buildings here, it doesn't appear. It appears that they've been smashed from all sides. It doesn't appear that there's been some sort of shock wave or something that is blowing them all from the same direction.
Well, you can look at it, make an intelligence check or an engineering architecture check if you have that.
She will, of course, ask the question while I was trying to discern it herself.
Well, you see.
Well, Rain, looking at this, he will get the feeling, and Rilinid can back him up some of this. You will get the feeling that something hit from the south, almost like rolling in, like a shockwave, a wave, or something smashing in from the south. Basically, most of the destruction seems to be heaviest on that side of the buildings. Yes, if there was a shockwave of a force coming from somewhere, you would guess it would be from the south.
All right.
That might be out of character assumptions, but the thing we have marked as weird brain on our map looks like an impact crater to me, really.
Yes,
Might have been a meteor of sorts or something.
Doesn't it? And all the big things around it are gone.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find out.
What I wonder is, where does all that water come from? If these are really rivers.
They might just be deep cracks and the water comes just from the lake.
Maybe it's like it rains a lot here.
It could come from the surface, you know.
Dripping down?
Yeah.
Sure. That would make sense, actually, for that to be sort of over time they would build these mounds as it drips down with sediment.
So this from the external, Jonas, appears to be like the eviscerated ruins of a keep?
Yes, that seems to be it. When you look over it, casting a glance over here, it clearly fortifications. You see walls. You see typical gnomish construction. You see arrow slits, sort of pointing out in every direction from these. Up on this tower, even you see a remnant of something that looks like almost like a ballista, poking skyward. Like crenellations are heavily damaged, but it seems that the walls in general are intact, actually.
Well, there might be something useful in it, but I imagine the best value of this would be if we were to whatever godforsaken reason decided that we wanted to renovate the damn thing and have some sort of base here. If we wanted to move to the mud. You can make. I mean, you are skilled enough in engineering and architecture to realize that yes, if you were to renovate this place, this would probably. I mean, most of the work is already done on this keep and walls and fortifications. It will basically to build a new keep here would be significantly cheaper because you already have like the basic structures in place. You mostly need to renovate them and repair.
So I guess we walk around, look for the entrance, and check it out.
Into the mud.
Into the mud.
I don't know whether that's such a great idea. I figure maybe
Could go
there's
the other way around.
I figure maybe there might be a road leading up to it. It fucking hurt.
Maybe there was a road here. Maybe there's just so much mud.
Roads tend to lead to fortifications, for reasons.
And then he teleports through the building.
He
Doesn't
doesn't really want to get her feet too
walk
muddy.
around because mud is too muddy.
Oh, you don't say.
Mud is too muddy.
Mud is
Jocelyn
mud.
speeds away. I don't know what she's doing.
Tristan is kind of
She
bugging right
accidentally
now.
cast summon monster on herself.
She's bugging out.
I put her somewhere and suddenly she was not back there, and then I tried to move her while she was not there, and then she pshoo. I don't know what happened.
Anything off here to the north through the deeper darkness?
Spell deeper darkness of dancing lights.
It's not how that works.
I see no flaw in this logic.
Well, it all starts whenever dancing lights is a cantrip, and deeper darkness is not a cantrip.
The deepest.
I don't know spellcraft.
Coming up here. Stop. Coming up here in this crossroads, this seems to have been more of a major road. Most of this road work here is intact, actually. It's still, I mean, flagstones and stuff is still very cracked, and there's a mud and this sort of gooey, oily substance all over the place. But it seems that this is in much better condition than what we've seen so far. In the middle here, there is actual sign of, remains of things. Skeletons seems to be spread haphazardly over this square here. You see a collection of what seems to be very eroded weapons lying about. You would count a total of perhaps 50-something skeletons here. It's hard to say. Many of them are, destroyed, or maybe it's only a skull or a hand or something like that lying about.
What happened to Nivy, Ivy, and Miku?
They're about.
Some people would use heal to try to help them ascertain death, judging by the damage to the bones. But Rilinid is more familiar with another type of anatomy: profession librarian.
The most sinister of all professions.
Judging by the amount of damage done to the clavicle here as it juts down into the sternum.
Exactly.
How are these bones broken in such a way to possibly ascertain COD, man?
Really, looking at the damage here, first of all, these bones seems very old. And they are heavily eroded as well. They're quite broken. He would guess that most of these were destroyed in some sort of explosion.
Well, that confirms the mystery. Good to know. We're writing an Agatha Christie novel, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Alauneari will take a quick look. Are there some of the skeletons that would be in good enough condition to perhaps use for necromancy?
No, they are so heavily eroded that even if she could work some of them into, they would be. She is very hesitant that you would be able to sustain them for much at all.
Sure. She will disregard it, though. It's simply a mass grave.
The signage reveal anything of merit, like "Go west for big money, big prizes"? Or...
Well, looking about, this seems to be, on this smashed wall, there is a half destroyed plaque on the wall that basically says "The King's Road," pointing at this direction.
King's
Road.
Fucking unoriginal naming, I swear.
The gnomish ingenuity does not extend to names, as it turns out.
19 names, not one of them makes any fucking sense. This is the king never turns back from danger, always holds his sword up.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Yes.
Respect at this point.
Yes, walking up here, you see the looming gatehouse of the broken castle fortress. Although, walking up here, it seems to be in reasonable, good condition, as far as you can say. The drawbridge, lies cracked and destroyed on the, or not the drawbridge, the gates lie sort of busted up and cracked. You see a portcullis that is sort of slammed in front of the gates, but even that is sort of bent and twisted, as if something with great strength blasted through it, or perhaps a great heat sort of melted and twisted it. On the gatehouse walls here, you see sort of inlaid in them great statues of marble depicting what seems to be some form of gnomish warrior kings. Again, they have the same sort of equipment as you saw in the square. They are armed with the hammer-looking wrench, the cog-shaped shield with the Vossenstad heraldry emblazoned upon it, and you see sort of clearly that there has once upon a time definitely hung banners from these gatehouses. They are like flagpoles, broken but jutting out from here. There also seems to be inscriptions among the walls here.
And I guess the gate is open or destroyed enough to just walk in?
Yes, you can walk through it.
Let's do that and see what awaits.
All right.
I like to imagine that Rilinid and Ivy have that like crazy sort of like rotation pattern where you're always walking forward but like spinning around at the same time to constantly watch everyone's six.
Sure.
Miko can do that too.
Sure.
Miko might even be confused, like, why are we rotating? Just do it.
I don't. Okay. And it just spins around, looking like mystified, but.
I mysteriously noticed this session that I had ownership over her token, so I figured, what the fuck, I'd move her.
Yep. You mysteriously have.
Does this appear to be sort of just dry, empty ground?
Well, as you walk in here, the courtyard of the fortress, if you will, the first thing you see is the ruined remains of what seems to have been like a stable, or maybe, possibly a stable of some sort of warehouse over here, built with mushroom bark wood. It's completely eroded, or not completely eroded, but it is heavily destroyed. You only see the remains of it. Over in this corner is a similar mushroom bark building destroyed. In the middle, you see again sign of like bodies lying around. There seems to be almost similar condition as the ones in the square. More of them here, though, over 100, splintered and destroyed, basically spread out all over the place. It's like confetti of bones and remains of combat seems to just have been sprinkled all over this place. There is this sort of like oily film over everything in here. Like a slime trail sort of has gone over it. It is very quiet, and nothing really seems to move here in the courtyard. Over here you see entrances to these towers. All of them have entrances, pointing inwards to the fortress. The main sort of keep tower also have a remains of double doors open here.
Double doors?
Double doors.
You don't have to squeeze through.
Double doors. What, double gnome-sized doors, or double doors as in big enough?
No, they're quite big and grand for being gnome doors. You can walk through without much problem.
Right. And Alauneari will go and try to push the door.
Well, the door's not really closed. It's busted off its hinges.
Oh, well, what's inside?
Well, looking inside, she sees the remains of a hallway, like a grand hallway, entering into what seems to be like a what do you call it? Not a throne room, like an audience chamber. leading up to it, again, it's a pillared hall. Think of like a miniature version and style of architecture, something similar to Moria. These kinds of sort of pillars. It is clearly built to be like impressive. The stonework is exquisite, even though it is quite destroyed. Leading up, like all this sort of concentrates leads the view, the eyes of the beholder, up to the central seat, which is a quite grand stone throne, not stone, marble throne, with clearly gnomish insignias. Vosenstad is emblazoned on top of it with like a crown and the full heraldry. It actually shows a sign of being attacked. I mean, it's cracked. You can clearly see it, as if again something with brute force hit it quite violently. In here is again sign of old combat. There are scorch marks, sign of cracked floors and walls. Whatever happened in here, it seems to have been very violent. Up from here are staircases to the sides that seems to lead up into more of the tower. You also notice on the sort of right-hand side when you come in, there's some sort of armory where you could probably there was weapons and armor for the garrison, but also a place for visitors to probably leave their armaments before going before the ruler of this place. To the left seems again to be a broken down doorway leading into what to you seems like some sort of kitchen.
So it's quite big.
Yes.
Right. Well, looking around, nodding slowly, taking in the condition of everything. She will, just look at the others.
Rain clearly checking just how well fortified, how strong all the walls are, or how likely they are to collapse on us.
It seems, I mean, it is definitely heavily, eroded and stuff, but it seems to be quite sturdy. You would not think that it will collapse upon them.
Unless there's like a Frogomorph or something worse coming.
There happens to be one in the ruins of the stable.
Just looking at you.
You have not noticed him before.
He has a little sign. It says "for sale" and points to a small collection of items.
Taking note that this might be a good spot if we ever had any interest in actually placing a unit of people here. Currently, though, it seems that there's very little resource to be gathered, if not just salvage of old metal chunks and such. Nothing that would really drive an economy or have a necessity of a fortress. It's good to know it's here.
It's not as impressive as I was hoping, seeing an airship and all.
I'm sure its prime. It was
we only found an old fortress. Oh, how disappointing.
Yeah.
That looks like Mines of Moria inside. That's not impressive at all.
Yeah. Look around. It doesn't seem to be anything much here anymore.
Well, clearly we should keep moving.
We can try to follow the rest of the road north before we head out of the city, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Now that we've come so far.
The observatory is south, though.
Yes.
Well,
if we want to explore, I guess we can go north.
Really, the road kind of goes it kind of go west first, so.
Kind of southwest.
Let's take a look down these two roads. See where they lead.
Well, looking up here, I don't you see them lead off for a bit, but then again seem to be washed out in the mud. It's hard really to say. But you don't see much ruins going up here. Maybe it was so destroyed to leave nothing here, or maybe the town didn't actually sprawl much more north than this.
And the other one?
Well, same.